Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and I'm an anarcho-capitalist, and I have some things to say to my anarcho-communist and regular communist friends. So, they talk about oppression from the point of view of the private voluntary contract as well as a social contract, when only one of them is truly oppressive. As a voluntarist, I believe in the non-aggression principle. That force cannot be used against others, and that's what makes me an anarchist. If you believe collectivism and collective force should be used against others, you can't be an anarchist. I'm going to start off by saying something that should immediately trigger some people. So, this is for the AnComs. Seizing the means of production is a form of sabotage against a business you willingly signed up for. You're not enslaved by them, except when the government taxes the hell out of you. You signed up for a job. We didn't sign up for our humanity and free will to be plundered by the state. That's the difference. It's easy for you to want to destroy some capitalist business, though, isn't it? First of all, you're jealous that they can accomplish more than you because running a company is really freaking difficult. But on top of that, you don't believe in personal property, which is a dim-witted approach to reality, as in that case, your body is your property, and you shouldn't care if someone rapes your mother or kills you, right? Now, I know that that's an unpopular metaphor, but it's true. Or how about someone takes your house for a while because it's not yours, it's everyone's, right? So someone can work their ass off for years to buy their family a home, and then you come along, a veteran Cheeto eater who got a huge kill count on Call of Duty, and suddenly because it's collectively fair to you, you can have that house too. Why don't you get a job and carry your own? Learn how to do something. It doesn't have to be productive, it just needs to be in demand. Refusing to work and making other people who are maybe hard-working individuals take care of you is far closer to slavery. It's theft and coercion. Government and collectivism is slavery. Force is slavery. Voluntary interactions are not slavery, and that's the problem with you AnComs, is you view work as slavery instead of forceful extortion from the non-consenting social contract. Your laziness is no excuse for the coercion of good people. Learn a trade. Get out of your mother's basement and try to actually accomplish something, instead of being woefully apathetic and under the mindset that it's because those capitalist pigs made it that way. No, we haven't. We've made it possible for people like you to live in your basement on your fucking laptops all day, because if it wasn't for capitalism, you'd be living in the woods having to fend for yourself all day, every day, and no one would fucking help you. You'd be wiping your ass with poison ivy and running around dehydrated as hell. You'd be dead in months because you'd want other people to take care of you and no one would be there. But without a roof over your head, food or water stocking the store shelves, I'd like to see you grow your own. Hunt and build yourself a shelter. Oppressive communist governments have killed hundreds of millions of people, and I always see communists try and stray away from that. Though I do know several communists that support Stalin and believe the revisionist history, but many stray away and they say, that's not real communism. Except it was by definition, and over again we see these communist governments rise and obliterate free society or any remains of it, and guess what? You are the oppressors. And you are the ones pushing for the monopolies we see. I'll explain that. You will often say, oh, well, that's not real communism, but that form of capitalism is, right? Well, capitalism hasn't existed in hundreds of years. Not by definition, anyways. Capitalism cannot involve the state, but newly redefined capitalism does. That's called corporatism or corporate fascism, which is the opposite of capitalism. Free market capitalism means things like farmers markets, flea markets, and garage sales. Not heavily government subsidies and monopolization. Not heavy manipulation of the markets at the hands of the globalists. Monopolies can only grow in real capitalism to a minimal extent depending on the public's acceptance of the business at hand, because after all, real capitalism is the only fair way of voting. To vote for products and businesses with your dollar. To choose a better product or business over the inferior product or business. It's as simple as exchanging the amount of money the business owner wants for the product you want voluntarily. That's true anarchy. Not being forced to share is a collectivist system of coercion. Under that logic, I could have extremely bad grades in school, but get the exact same amount of opportunities as those who've actually tried hard. That's not fair. And that brings me to the idea of fair share. Who dictates what a fair share is? In an anarchist society, no one dictates anything. So to say, well, you have to take from the rich and give to the poor because that's their fair share of taxation or whatever, that is the opposite of fair. That is greed. Voluntarism allows for AnComs to go start their commune elsewhere. They have the right to do that, but seizing our means of production is a forceful act against us. Do as you please as long as you're not hurting anybody, but good ideas do not need to be forced. My ideology allows for you to have what you want as long as you're not shutting us down. Your ideology is one of force. One that we see playing out in the streets as George Soros-funded hate groups holding AnCom flags are burning innocent people's personal property, using force, collectivizing all people just like a racist, and just bent on chaos. A bastardization of what anarchy really is. But instead these groups are pushing people away from anarchism by creating the viewpoint of anarchy as the old stereotypical bomb-throwing and destructive militia. The private contract is free. Who in an anarcho-communist society is going to stop people freely paying others for work? Sounds like something the state would be dealing with. Does it not? These are voluntary actions between consenting individuals. Then the social contract is a form of slavery. You can't opt out. You're born into it and the state says you must choose this particular path. That you must pay these taxes, and in Canada's case, to pay off the interest on the debt which is created at the central banking level as fraudulent central bankers print money out of thin air, usually basing it on nothing but faith, but even when it's printed with backing, they print more of it than there is physical money. Then this causes devaluation and debt, which leads to inflation, which causes so many of the problems the left talks about, but instead the left employs the same solutions that cause the problem. This is called the Hegelian dialectic: problem, reaction, solution, and repeat. Regulation and corporate fascism have destroyed the markets, forced people into poverty, created monopolies, created the inflation that leads to these public sectors which cause the inflation to perpetuate and then shoves us collectively into servitude to the state. Don't get mad at the rich. Get mad at rich people who've done it dishonestly by victimizing and defrauding others, which doesn't include you voluntarily signing up for the job and doing the work. If you don't want to do the job, don't sign up for it. That's your right. What AnComs are supporting is not anarchy. It's force against free voluntary individuals who can make their own damn decisions in life as individuals without being pushed into a collective they don't consent to. My right to build a business with voluntary workers is none of your business. It's funny how communist supporters have never actually lived in a communist country, though I'd like to see them try. You can't have force within anarchy, only voluntary interactions. Anything else is slavery, and I do not consent to your coercion. You can take your oxymoronic ideology and shove it. Simple as that. We are free, beautiful human beings from birth onwards. Only the state and groups of individuals can try and take that away through theft and violence and coercion. And those people shall not succeed so long as we, the individuals, stand up against these collectivist bullies. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.